Oh, hello world. So this is just a quick video recording of how I'm seeing the planets today, and I thought it might be quite a suitable time just to make a very short video to give you a few insights based on what I'm seeing with the news today. So at the moment the moon's in Leo, very proud, very trying to dominate with sense of bigger, better things. There's always quite a moon in Leo sort of like a thing to look out for, really. So we've had the political parties, of course. I mean, it's only, whilst we've been in Scorpio season, the Sun in Scorpio, Mercury having its Mercury retrograde. Today the Sun is very highlighted by that moon, and with the last quarter moon about to occur in a few hours' time, this evening in London time, and today Mars moved into Scorpio, where it will be for the next 6 weeks. Now, interesting, tonight there's the first televised political debate between Jeremy Corbyn and Boris Johnson, and also we've got Mercury coming to its stationary point. It's at the end of its retrograde cycle, and it will be stationing tomorrow, I believe. Actually, at just after 7 p.m. tomorrow. So let's have a look at all those different things and see what we get. So in the news today, Labour have announced that they're planning to write off student debt. Now that's very interesting with that Mercury retrograde. So what we're looking for in the news, of course, is Mercury-oriented announcements and things, because Mercury, as it reaches its station, it'll hold its place, and therefore the strength of Mercury will come through very strongly. Now, Mercury is a student, it's a young person. Scorpio is like the debt, the loan, and so Mercury stations, and it's basically lining up to Labour saying, okay, well we're gonna cancel all the student debt, because with Mercury making its trine to Neptune, it's a very strongly idealised thing. They know that there's a power of an election to be won by announcing that, so it's a very strong feeling that they're trying to get across to the electorate, and at the same time they're really pushing to recruit people to their way, or voters, to all have a sense of belonging. It's interesting because you can say they say for the many and not the few, and that's indicative of a sense of belonging of something, like a nurturing feeling, and that's the North Node in Cancer at the moment. So there's this kind of grand trine in water signs, and it's about Mercury coming up with good ideas to do with loans and debts, and it's widely opposing Uranus, which is all about making radical changes to people's value systems with Uranus and Taurus. So we'll keep an eye on that. That'll be interesting, how that changes. The other news today is that the Green Party have released their manifesto, and they did that with Mercury stationing. Quite an interesting time to do it. Both Labour and the Conservatives have yet to release their manifestos, and they're going to be doing it, of course, I believe, on Thursday, which is after Mercury has finished its retrograde. So the Green Party, you can think in the same sort of way, they're appealing to this, how can we, unify? That Neptune in Pisces there's idealism behind everything, we've got to change the world, we've got to save the world, And in fact, actually, the Green Party did its announcement today. They did they launched their manifesto at the London Wetlands Centre, which is quite interesting. Because that Neptune Pisces, And I think they're trying to talk about, because their main manifesto promise is 100 billion to wage war on climate change. all things that are, of course, extremely necessary. So the really ending, if you like, or the closing of this very strong time of saying they're going to transform all the political parties. The general election was announced when the sun was in Scorpio, and it's now coming to the end of its time in Scorpio. It's got 3 more days left, and the moon is making its last quarter this evening, as it then reaches, we go towards the next new moon. So things are sort of getting things tied up, getting it done, getting it, closing, preparing for the next thing, which is, I think, once the manifestos are all released, then the sun moves into Sagittarius, and we have the truth, the honesty, and the philosophy a bit more, rather than the idea of we can transform. It's a little bit more like, okay, so the truth behind this, there's a lot more directness about what can work and what can't work. Backing all that up, of course, is the Mars in Scorpio. Now this is when it gets a lot more deeper, the sense of who one is going to support, sides to be taken, power-based power games, deeper psychological searching as people maybe change their minds about who they're going to vote for in the as the election develops. This is quite a good time, I think, for people to really think about the changes that need to be made. Mars is going to be, getting people to fight more passionately and very fixedly about what they want. So that will also be quite interesting. One last thing for now, and I'll try and do one of these videos every day. I think it's only a few minutes, so I'll just try and make it every day from now on, because I really feel we're very interesting changes coming up in the world, and I want to talk about them. So basically the moon has just finished its trine to Venus. Moon's at 23, that was just like an hour ago, but now the moon is in between going from Venus to Jupiter. So the moon is it's quite a nice link there. There's a sort of that should be quite a good afternoon and early evening really today. So keep that in mind, that if you've got some spirited creative things to do, moon to Jupiter is quite good for it's a kind of wider scope of communicating, but there's definitely something to be said for it. And then afterwards, or just before that, the moon will make the square to the sun. Let me just check that actually. So the square is at 9:10 or 9:11 p.m. And then the trine is at 9:06. So it's actually moon trine Jupiter followed by moon square sun, and that's going to be during the televised debate pretty much between Johnson and Corbyn. So they're going to have some very interesting things. It's going to be interesting to watch that on TV. I think that pretty much covers it now. Quite quick really, and hopefully speak to you tomorrow. Alright, goodbye world. And of course, please do subscribe to my channel. That'll be the red button down here in the bottom right of your YouTube screen there, and then beside that there's a little bell which gives you updating. Speak to you soon. Bye.